ABA number one. It's hard to see with the sunglasses. I don't need them anymore. This thing feels good. It's 101 right now. Thanks. How you doing, Native? So I think this behind me is where I've decided to put lemon tree. I was going to put them out front, but it's easier for me to get them water back behind me. It's hard to see because I got two trees in a row, but one of them is dead. And I think I'm going to trim him down. I'm going to leave some of the dead stuff. Give some of the desert ambiance, you know what I mean? I'm not naked. I do like these cigars, though. Name of the brand is Acid. I don't mind this one. It's not too bad. I like the company. They make good cigars. This is my last cigar, though. I'm either gonna have to buy more, or if I decide to relax, use my pipe. Nope, not naked. I'm on my laptop though, so I can see things a little bit better. Should bring out my ashtray. The camera, I've been tearing apart my patio, and I'm actually putting stone down. No more sand. I got some paving stones. Oh, grasshopper. Little desert grasshoppers out here. On special occasion. Came down to where he was to meet up. Working or talking. Because you're the only one that seems, Georgia, you're the only one that seems to want me to do these. I've got no problem bringing it on. I got my Bluetooth stuff so I could look. Georgie didn't want to come on. Yeah, I don't have the greatest Wi-Fi connection here. The router's inside. Been nauseous all day, huh? That stinks. I thought about running my outdoor. I've got an outdoor house. I might do that. Might make it a little bit better. 50-foot Ethernet cable. Is that a symptom of food poisoning? Never heard of that one. He'll probably jump in here. That's the good thing about food poisoning. It goes by very fast. At most, about 24 hours. When I lived in Abu Dhabi, I used to go to this jazz bar, and they had a Cuban woman there who would roll cigars for you right there. Gotta eat. I had crab salad. I only watched the part of the Hales where they were opening up mail. Any big revelations tonight? I'll watch the thing in the morning. Yes, it is, Coop. All right, no updates. Okay. I actually feel glad for him that the drama is starting to subside. Good news about my case this week. I'll give you guys a little bit of a taste. So they sent me integratories which are like questions they want answered, right? And they asked for a form of discovery where they wanted documents, they wanted uh, tangible things, uh, and then they sent me special interrogatories, and I found those to be hilarious. Um, they were asking things that have nothing to do with this restraining order, and yeah. Lowball everyone. Even um, I paid nine. They normally go for about 450 on the lower end for brand new ones. But this one was like new. There's a couple stains and stuff. Nothing too big. Works fine. That's what I cared about. You can actually build your own. And I was looking at it. Tractor Supply. This is 300 gallons, and they have a tank, a feed tank that is 300 gallons. And what I was gonna do is I was actually looking for one of these with a hole in it that I could get really cheap. Jeremy did say that Crook did admit to shooting 11 cats and one dog, lied to the sheriff, and then went and bragged to a resident in Otter Creek. Doesn't surprise me. That guy's an utter piece of crap. But yeah, I was looking for one of these that had a hole in it because the system back over here that actually runs it's just hose connects. And what I was going to do was get one of these tanks, and I was going to put uh, something along the outside, like maybe get some fiberglass or some wood and put it along the outside. But then in between the tank and the wood or the fiberglass, whatever I found, I was going to get and fill it up. So then it insulates. Then I was just going to get one of the heater, the heater assembly, and hook that up. Number of gallons is this thing, but it wouldn't going to be a blow up. This thing goes. That's my plan. Is you can get one of those. It's a 300-gallon tank. It's about 36 inches, which is, I think this is 34 inches. And yeah, I was just going to have to outside of it and, get either insulation or spray foam to go around it so that keeps heat. So that was the idea. There are some challenges with the blow up ones. Setting them up until you start getting it blown up and want it, they are a little bit of a pain because the fabric on it is heavy. It's a canvas. So when I fold this thing up, yeah, like I can lift it, but what I normally do is I've got my wheelbarrow. I just roll it into that. The people I bought this from, I thought they were geniuses because they were taking it camping, and they would go to the campground where they had access to water. They'd blow it up, fill it up. They didn't need chlorine or anything like that because you're only going to be using it for a day or two. So that was pretty cool. My goodie bag. My insulated goodie bag. The last beer in my refrigerator, Asahi. Japanese beer. I'm not driving anywhere. Stopped by the grocery store and picked up. I got cheese, I got eggs, I got milk. I'm on my knees, but I can move. Like I can. Here, I'm spreading out my legs right there. I can kick back, but it's going to be hard for me to read the screen. When I end the stream, yeah, I'm going to kick back. And before I started the stream, I was in here for a little bit. But this thing does feel good on my back. I will not lie. Skipper has a bad back. Let's see. Despite me turning the heater on, it's 99 degrees now. You guys are going to most likely see recorded content from me because you know I'm leaving town. Georgie's lurking. She's probably dealing with the animals or little man or something. What I got to get me some because I got me some earplug Bluetooth, but I got to get me some that go over. Oh, I know what you're talking about, AVA. Yeah. You know what? I'll have to look in to see if the VA would pay for something like that. You know, I thought about Lacey, and then I started bringing stuff out, and I forgot to bring her. Nah, it was just me. Just me enjoying a hot tub. Yeah, you can kind of see the little thing right here. That's the controller. And what I love is there's an app. So like before I came home, I went on the app and I told it to turn the heat on because this morning when I was out here working on the patio, I did. So I bought this off Amazon. I bought this. This is like a little pool vacuum, and I tried it out. It works pretty good. But when I was cleaning the pool, then it was down to 84. So, and it was we had a high of 87 here. A lot of wind this morning. No wind right now. So, but you know, the sun was already starting to go down, so it didn't get that hot. Hey, Harry. Can you believe it's been 50 years since Jaws was released? Maybe that's why I have a hard time keeping women around. Here's the thing. A lot of women want to be. Skipper doesn't. I'm too old. Too old to be doing that shit. There was a day for it, and it was called my 20s. I don't chase anymore. All these women want to be chased. Imagine that. Like, all these women, they're single moms. They've got shit going on. But yet they want a guy to chase them. What the fuck is the matter with you? I just want to be like, lady, you've got baggage. Exactly, Georgie. But remember, Georgie, you came out of nowhere. need to get a little bit more sun. $20 is $20. Put some of that dating stuff. I don't know if I'm going to go to the Philippines. I do want to go to Vietnam. And we might go to Vietnam due to the business. My buddy's got to get his passport. I was all set to go to Doha. And he was like, well, I just looked at my passport and it's expired. So we put that trip off. But I'll be in South Carolina next month. Man, the flies are buzzing. They always do that, though, when there's water. It's up on my head. Exactly, Georgie. We were following Jeremy Hales in that whole case. That was July of 23. So that'll be 2 years in a month. Where are you? Stupid bug. He keeps going from my head to my back. He's trying to drink the water. Yep, passports expire, I believe it's 10 years. But to renew it, if it's not yet expired, I believe you just send in, and I think it's just a nominal fee, like $20. If it's expired and only by like a year, you can send it in, and it's just a little bit more. It's like $50. But one thing I do keep on me is I keep my passport card. And there's a couple reasons for that. The first one is it's a federal ID. So, like Friday, I was asked, I gave my military ID to somebody, and they wanted 2 other forms of ID. Well, I've got my California Real ID, I've got my VA ID, and then I've got my passport ID. So I've always got those with me. So I've got plenty of ID. And but the other reason I keep it is because of that Marine who he took a wrong turn, ended up crossing the border into Mexico. I think he was hunting and he had his guns, and they put him in jail. And I'm not too far from the border, and I could foresee, there's been a couple times where I've gone down to Imperial County, and I could see myself going down there, getting lost, and ending up in Mexico. But if I have my passport ID, I'm good. I can come back into the States. Is just burning a little bit uneven. I need to refill. I've got a good cigar lighter. I got to refill that one. No, I do not have the blue ID. I do not rate that. A friend of mine does. You were intimidated into. Well, yeah, because I control you. I've got to find some way. I've got a couple ladders. I'm going to put them up on. I want to put them up in the roof. The problem that I have is this is a canted roof, so I got to find a good system to hold on to them well. I've also got to get a new wind chime out here. I had one that it's 550 paracord, and it had parts hanging down that then had 556 shells. Tat said Coop is scared of me. Yeah, there's someone who's scared of Coop, but it's not me. I like Coop. I'm not scared of you, Coop. I like how good of an ash this thing keeps. It means it's rolled tight. Yeah, he's never going to respond. There's something he's hiding. Something he's not talking about. But I think that side is done. I think a couple of the people that were pushing stuff, I think they had some things they didn't want to have discussed publicly. Yeah, that's how Coop would scare me. That's how he would scare me. If I got on his bad side, right, Native? Are you saying TC doesn't scare you? TC is very smart. Very smart. And the other thing about TC is he's a guy who he looks at things logically and he weighs things. That's one thing that really drew me to TC. He thinks about stuff. You know, this thing, it was starting to get cloudy, and for $19 on Amazon, I got some new filters. He's a mere puppy. And because the one that I had, it lasted me all last year. And I used this thing a lot last year. So for $20, I got 4 new filters. So I replaced the filter, and it was starting to get cloudy and cleared right up. Wednesday. Oh, there's Wednesday. Hey, welcome. Wednesday's whimsical world. I like that. People need to be more whimsical. The Unabomber type, but I can see TC typing up a manifesto. How hot? I think I can set this. I keep mine set at 101, but I think it does go up to like 103 or 104. And there's like a circular floaty. Mine has a hole in it. I've got it inside. I need to get some soapy water on it and then fill it up with air to figure out where the hole is, and I'm going to pat it. But yeah, when I have that, that sits on top of like sits inside here, and then I put a cover over it, and it warms up super fast. It warms fast without it, but it really does do a good job of keeping the heat. I go to I'm 2 hours from Disney. I know whimsical. Any of you guys ever come out here to Disney? Let me know because I get discounted veteran tickets. And if you have a family member who's a veteran on Disney World, there's actually a veteran on property, a veteran resort, which you're staying on Disney property. You're not at a Disney resort, so there's some limitations. Like I don't think you can do the food plan, but you get all the other perks. Like when one of the parks opens early or stays open late for park holders or for people staying on property, you get that ability. Disneyland or Disney World, Annette? Because I'm near Disneyland. Well, yeah, they've Disney World in Florida has what I think 5 or 6 parks now. Yeah, Coop's away 45 minutes away. That doesn't surprise me. The word is whimsical. You went to Disneyland when you were 4 years old. So I went when we were, I'm trying to think, 19, I would have been 7. And it was 20, it was either 20 or 25 years of Disney World. And I remember I went through the gate. They were like every 15 minutes they were giving away prizes. And I went through the gate and I got the prize. And we still have, I got some stickers. I got a Disney pin, a couple other things. My mom's got them. They're in her storage somewhere, and I told her, I said, to find those for me. That is something like we were just talking about. We had some of those old NASCAR diecast cars, and my mom was like, I think these are yours, and a lot of them are probably mine. But I told her, I said, just split them up. Whatever ones my brother wants, let him take them. I'll take whatever. We had taken them out of the packaging, so they're not going to be like hugely valuable, but I still have some that are in the packaging. I actually were really into my brothers, and we have a lot of autographs, and I saved all of mine. I'd put them into a binder, and NASCAR guys who autographs I have. Oh, all the autographs I have are all people who are no longer racing. Like, I've got Ricky Rudd's autograph. Yeah, I got to get through and start subscribing back to some people. I noticed that I've got some new subscribers, and some are people with like pretty decent sized channels. So I got to get back and subscribe to them because I've got no problem following people back. Same thing. You guys ever do your own streams? You ever have, like, you're selling something online, you're doing anything, just shoot me a thing. I'll promote you. Promoting people costs nothing. It costs nothing. That's why I get so frustrated at creators who won't promote other creators. Like, I understand don't put someone else's stream in live. Totally get that. Because you're taking away the audience. But if someone wants to be promoted, I know what that sound is. See how I don't have a door protecting my water heater? It's actually laying right down over here. It blew off in a windstorm. When they put it on, it opens this way. So the wind normally comes through here and it catches it. So I gotta figure out the door frame that they have on it. I can't put it on right now. So I'm thinking I might put it on a different way. I'm still trying to figure out how to go live until I get a laptop. Um, so there's the YouTube Studio app. I know it used to not allow you to go live, but I think you might be able to now. Or you can go live straight from the YouTube app. One of those two. I can't remember which one. Oh, okay. I keep hearing water running. I'm like, what is it? It's my landscaping. That's what it is. I kicked up the water because it had gotten it something got screwed up with it and it wasn't watering for about a week. And the avocado was doing great. The peach tree doing great. It was the orange tree but from what I've read, the orange tree, it just said start watering it again. It'll come back. Oranges are used to periods of drought, and it was only like a week, but it gets so hot out here. So the orange tree, I've been watering the crap out of it to bring it back. And once it comes back, it's going behind me with the lemon tree. Rumble. Oh, the Rumble Studio app. Yeah. Rumble does have an app. Rumble Lives are good. Native, get with me offline, and you can use Restream. That'll do all of them. The only downside of Restream is it doesn't have an app. I do have notifications turned on because Rumble, like once a month, they do a thing, and people who use, or sorry, Rumble Restream goes live, and they do have they take viewer comments, and they've taken a couple of my comments, and integrated them. So I'm very happy about that. I might have to go down to Mexico and get me more cigars. Down in Mexico, you can get Cuban cigars, and you can bring them back. You can only bring back enough for personal use. So I'll probably go down there and get like 25 of them. Take them down to South Carolina, give some to my brother. I tried to use Restream, but it says I already have an account, but I never made one. Are you using Google? I use Google to get in. There goes the landscaping. It turned off. I've got this big palm tree out in front of my house. It's like right in the middle. I got to figure out if I want to put anything out there with it. My raspberries, I will not lie, they are kicking ass. I might have to move those out. I'll probably put them between the avocado and the apple tree. But I got to have some way. I might put them, I thought about putting them close to the fence because they need support. Another place, I thought about building a flower box out in front of my window. because then they can they're like a vine. They grow up stuff. If you have a Google account, it'll log you in with that. I, I've been out in the sun. You guys have seen me at the pools. I'm not a California beach guy, though. I like going to the beach, but I like doing it on the military bases because then you don't have to deal with the people. You guys, you might have seen I did a YouTube short about a public shooting range, and I said it was a ripoff because they won't let me shoot the public. That old gag. But yeah, yeah, these Californians, man. Not a bad sunset, but there's no clouds. The clouds really make it beautiful. Right? Right? There's this big sign along the side of the road. Every time I go to Palm Springs, it says public shooting range. So yeah, I took a video. I was like, this place is a ripoff. I went in there. They wouldn't let me shoot one member of the public. False advertising. I've been thinking about buying another gun. I badly want a 1911. 11, and I want a revolver. I'll be okay with a 22 revolver, just something small. Just because if I'm out walking around the yard and there's a snake and I want to take care of it so it doesn't get to glory. I'm also on the edge of town, so I think if someone heard shooting, they wouldn't call and report me. In town, oh, they definitely would. Yeah, 1911. I've had so many people, who were never in the military, or who, if they were in the military, they weren't a logistician, tell me, oh, we need to go back to the 45. Never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. Here's why. We use the 9mm in the military because you got to think a box of 45 shells fits about 4 less of 9mm. So that's one box. Now you put that in an ammo container. Now you got about 20 extra rounds. You put that in a pallet. Now you have about 200 extra rounds. You put that pallet onto a C10 or a C130. Now you have thousands of rounds more that you can move. So you can supply someone better with a 9mm than you can a 45. That is why the military will never, ever, ever switch to a 45. They're heavy. They're heavy, and you got to clean them. But I'm a Marine. We're used to cleaning our weapons. I talked a little bit in my military leadership lessons about the horse saddle man concept. That's what the cowboys called it. For the Marines, I don't know about the Army. AVA can let us know. But for the Marines, it's weapon gear self. When you're done with whatever op, you clean your weapon. You take care of your weapon first. That's why I liked when they did the show The Daredevil, and or they showed Frank Castle for the first time, and in Daredevil, they showed Frank Castle, who's a Marine, and it was a very accurate portrayal of Frank Castle being a Marine, because when he first he had Daredevil tied up. First thing he was doing was cleaning his weapons. That is very much a Marine thing. That is they beat it into you. Take care of your weapon first. After you take care of a weapon, then you take care of your gear. You wash down your trucks. You check them. You do any PMs that you can on them. And then you go get chow. Then you go get rest. Why? Because all those things will keep you alive. They will keep you alive. Not taking care of them before anything else, they're going to fail on you when you need them the most. Yep, weapon gear. Okay, I figured they would. It just makes sense. But yeah, it comes from the cowboys. The cowboys used to do that. They would take care of their horse. You feed and water your horse first. You give him rest. Then you take care of your saddle and your gear. Then you take care of yourself. That's why cowboys really only ate one meal a day. A lot of them would eat late at night, wake up in the morning, maybe have some campfire coffee, maybe some leftovers from the night before, and then they worked the rest of the day. And I believe in that. Stick with what works. Do not reinvent the wheel. Sorry. When I smoke cigars, they make me want to spit. My mouth gets a little bit dry and a little bit hot. Calvary is, yeah. It's a very cool story. So, the Calvary, everybody knows about General Custer. Here's what you might not know about Custer. Michigan is called the Wolverines because of General Custer's unit in the Civil War. It was the Michigan Cavalry out of southern Michigan, which included Ann Arbor, and they fought like Wolverines, and that's where that comes from. I actually, I lived in a town called Milan, Michigan. Excuse me. Spelled just like Milan, but in the local cemetery there, I got to check them out a couple times. There were Civil War graves from people from that cavalry. I believe it started off as a battalion, then became a regiment. My favorite book is the memoirs of Ulysses S. Grant, and he talks about them in there, especially when he talks about Gettysburg. How he took over after Gettysburg and very quickly recognized their efficiency and fighting abilities. But that's an interesting book. Grant was dying, and he knew he was dying. And through some bad investments and stuff, he had no fortune to leave to his kids. So Mark Twain, everybody had asked him to write a book and do his memoirs, and he didn't want to do it. And Mark Twain convinced him, if you want to leave something to your kids, write your memoirs. And his memoirs were finished days before he died. And after he died, they went and they fact-checked a lot of the stuff before they published. So many of the people they talked to, they were like, wow, he remembered that. And they were like, I forgot about that. But yeah, Grant had a very good memory. And he wasn't a good student at West Point, but he was a smart guy. And he was logistics like I was. He was a quartermaster. And his approach to fighting was a logistics. And that was the first war, really, of logistics. Prior to that, it was Napoleonic warfare. They still would line up army versus army, but Napoleon used artillery to win. You weren't a scout, but you were in the Air Cavalry. Did you get to wear the cowboy hat? AVA? The cavalry wears cowboy hats and spurs. It's pretty cool. That is the only of all the other services. That is the only uniform me as a Marine I got jealous of. I was like, that's a cool ass uniform. I didn't like when the Army went to all berets. I'm not a fan of berets. Yep, they're very, very powerful. You know, the first time we ever really used helicopters was in Korea. The Korean War is a really interesting, like every type of warfare that, with the exception of desert warfare, every type of warfare, yeah, it's a Stetson, sorry. Oh, cowboy hat. You got silver and gold spurs. That's not, dude, I am jealous. I am jealous of that uniform. That's a cool ass uniform. You should, if we do a Marine Corps ball in Vegas, you should come down and you should take a flight and bring that uniform. I don't think I'm going to wear my uniform again. Some people want me to. They're like, get a mess dress. Mess dress is a nice uniform. I never got one, even though I rated one as a captain. I could have gotten one, but they're just, you spend hundreds of dollars on your dress blues. And for officers, the mess dress is the only one you don't have to keep. But yeah, my one buddy, he wore his uniform to the ball last year. He was like, "You should come with me and wear your uniform." I was like, "Nah. I've got one I could probably fit into, but the one I got commissioned in, oh no, I'm about 30 pounds heavier than what I was in, at least 20, more likely 20." But yeah, mess dress maybe. I like wearing my tuxedo. If I go, I'll wear my tux. I got 2 tuxes. You guys have seen the one. The red and white bow ties. Yep. That's a cool uniform. Very cool uniform. All the other ones, I was like, okay. We used to have to keep a white dress uniform, and a lot of Marines were glad when they dropped it, because that uniform could get jacked up very easily, especially if you're wearing it to the ball and you're getting drunk. Now we only have to wear the dress white pants, and you wear those if you're wearing your medals. So you have your alpha blues and your alpha whites. But you used to have a white coat with it too, but they got rid of it. And I was not in when they got rid of it, so never had one. Damn, I've been doing this for an hour. Good cigar. I've been smoking this for an hour. My one buddy, he found out that even if you're a retired Marine, you can come back as a chaplain. And he's a retired Marine. And I was like, dude, you should think about that. Because he's always trying to get me to go to Bible study, which I've gone a couple times. I do enjoy it. My first deployment, we had U.S. Cavalry tapes instead of U.S. Army. Maybe it's a deployment thing. I don't know. I've never looked too far into Army uniform regulations. I'm even I'm even a little bit out of date on Marine Corps uniform regulations. They've made some changes, um, primarily to the female uniforms. I was never I w- like I knew the regulations always for what I needed to, but if I was gonna do if I was gonna have a uniform inspection, I always had to go through and bone up on the other uniforms. There were some things I did with my uniform that was completely authorized, but people were like, "You're cheating." Um, I wasn't. Ever did that I wish I would have was had at least one of my Bravos because as staff NCOs and officers, you can have French cuffs, and I would have redone those to have French cuffs. I got a couple shirts that are French cuffs. They're just old. I need to replace them. New body armor, custom cuts for females. Yeah, they should. Um, I when we deployed, I made my armory. I said, look, we looked up how many women were in our battalion, and I said, look, set aside all the M4s for the women because we didn't have enough M4s to give to everybody, but we had quite a few. I got my Rumble and YouTube all set on research. There you go, Native. Um, and if Native, if you want to use my paid account, let me know. I'll give you just like I did Georgia. I don't know why Spawn and Eric think that's a big deal. Like all you can really do is just use Restream, my paid account, so that you can stream to your stuff. I don't care. I'm paying for it. There's no reason why others can't use it. I've offered it to TC. I've offered it to quite a few people. I've got my one light out here, but I've got Christmas lights. But the Christmas lights looks like they went out, so I'm gonna have to replace them. I did see. I've got it in my Amazon wish list. A pool float that's Bluetooth speaker, and it also floats and has a light. And I thought about getting that for this hot tub. I still want to take the veterans cruise. The only problem is that they only leave out of Florida. I've talked to Brett and Therese about it. They are on board. I've talked to Larry about it. He's on board. If I can get a group of people, I know I'll have a. I did go on one cruise. I enjoyed it. I don't know if I'll be a cruise person, but I will. I would love a veterans cruise. Love it. But when it goes, they go in November. I do know that, and I'm trying to talk my parents into going to Hawaii. If they don't agree to it, um, if then I'll take the veterans cruise this year. Um, I would love to take my dad and my son to Pearl Harbor. I know they would enjoy it. As it is, I get my son for 2 weeks, and we're going to South Carolina. And I think when we come back, me and him, we were talking about going camping, and but I think instead we're going to go to Tombstone. Yes, you can take kids on a cruise. For the veterans cruise, your wife will be able to go for free, and your kids can go for discounted. Are yours? You got two, right? The nice thing about the cruise is you take the kids and there's like a kids thing, and they go and they play with all the kids, and they actually have staff there to watch them, which is nice. So you'll see your kids. You can set up, be like, okay, well, I'll see you at lunch, or I'll see you at dinner, and then you just go. But cruises are fun. I've done a couple of them. My best friend, they want me to take an Alaskan cruise, and I would love to do that. Yeah, they've got stuff for the kids, and I think they have stuff for special needs kids too. There's always like a kids club, and pretty much they take them to the part of the ship where if there's video games. There's uh, the one we went on. They had like a little soccer/hockey thing. Uh, they had ping pong. They had air hockey, and then the kids can take their swimsuits. And the one we were on had it had uh, the water slides. And one thing I learned that I didn't know is when you go on the cruise, you check your bags and you give them your bags, and then they will load up the bags and bring them to your room. Uh, what I didn't know that some of the smart people did was they packed their swim stuff. So when they got onto the cruise ship, they just immediately changed their swim stuff and went straight to the pool. And at the pool, they had you could go get a burrito or tacos or nachos, all complimentary. And yeah, you just go to the pool first thing. Um, so that was one thing I didn't know. My friend, she knew that, so she had packed that way. So she went to the pool, but it didn't work out because I had a problem with the Wi-Fi, so I had to go work on making sure I had Wi-Fi access. The good thing about a cruise, you pay for a lot of that stuff up front. So then when you get on the cruise itself, you've already paid for the cruise, and you can pay for the Wi-Fi. If you're I don't recommend the drinks because you have to drink a lot to make that worth money, but you can pay for the cups so that you can refill for non-alcoholic drinks. And so that's what we did. So yeah, I'm like every morning I was going down getting coffee. Um, but I probably will actually bring a percolator next time just so I can brew my own coffee so I don't have to go wait in line. It wasn't a huge line, um, but my parents had a balcony suite. So me and my mom, we like to sit and drink coffee, look out at the water, do that. He lives on a lake. My parents live on a lake. So we do that at their house anyway. So that was nice. And then we, as people woke up, okay, yeah, we'll go to breakfast. And the nice thing is, like, if you're planning on drinking, you're gonna be safe. Um, there's a lot of places to drink, and yeah, there's a lot of safety. Uh, so if you're drunk walking around the ship and you need help back to your room, someone's gonna be there to help you. Yeah, hit the like. I will be ending this soon though. It's getting dark out here. I know it doesn't look it because you guys are looking at the bright light, but this way, oh yeah, it's getting dark, and it gets dark out here where I am. I'm on the outskirts of town, so I get all the stars, and then I don't mean well, we get Hollywood stars out here. We get Kanye West a couple miles this way. He built a compound out in Wonder Valley, and we can always tell he was in town this weekend. You can always tell when Kanye's in town because he's got several cyber trucks and him and his entourage. So if you see a group of cyber trucks here in town, you know that's Kanye. We also got Cheech and Chong who live out here now. They did a new movie, and a lot of it was filmed out here. I've got a slushy. They had these at my store. I was like, oh, okay, I'll get them. I got one for me and one for my son. He ate his as he was playing his video games. There may be a coffee with the skipper tomorrow, but there won't be one on Tuesday, and there might not be one on Wednesday. Dogs are barking, but no coyotes yet. Soon there will be. I've got one. He's always checking out my trash. He hasn't knocked it over yet, but I've got a trail cam, and I always see him on the trail cam. We had all that rain, and we still have, that was at the beginning of the month. Can you believe we still have standing water? And people are like, you're in the desert. That's how much it rains. There was probably a foot of water, and there's still some puddles from it. Yeah, I'm going to go soon too. Anything more you guys want to talk about before I go? You take care, AVA. Give my best to the wife and kids. No, not yet. Not yet. Not wrinkled yet. Soon. Starting. I'm going to end this because it's getting dark. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.